Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, we are doing a little bit of prep work for Creep on June. So hopefully that transition was good. I stopped right in the middle of that sentence because I thought Mark needed me. What you see is some coffee dyed scrapbook paper. What I did was I I have coffee grounds everywhere now, I have to vacuum. I pulled my Halloween bin out and I went through. I knew I had some scrapbook paper that I wanted to use. It is still damp. I had a little bit of extra coffee in my coffee pot yesterday. So what I did was I just, I put it in this enamel pan that I just picked up for $1 at a yard sale this weekend. And I thought, you know what, that is a great size. I'm just going to pick it up and use it for dyeing paper. I don't have to worry about the big tray that I normally use. 12 by 12 doesn't actually fit in this, so I cut them down, hopefully to a good size. I did them 8.5 high by just the full width for options. And they're still a little bit damp, but what I'm thinking is on the plain side, there's not enough interest. Like some of them there is, and like this is, as this dries, all of this coffee grounds are going to come off. See, it's just giving me a really nice grungy base to start with. Like I even took my little rigid dust vacuum to these to get the majority of the grounds off. And so I want to add more interest to them. And I don't mind that they're damp. What I'm going to do is lay out my tablecloth that I use for dyeing papers. Oops. And I'm going to add some interest to these and then let them dry. And hopefully Chloe will not come in here and try to mess with them. She shouldn't. She's been pretty good about leaving stuff alone. So I hope everybody's doing well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. And I don't know if you can see on this side, we're really getting a little pile of grounds. Oops, but that's okay because I'll just clean it up when we're finished. So what do we want to do? I feel like I want to add some color to these. And what colors I'm wanting to add are just some grungy interest. And I am, without giving anything away, working with the colors of the kit that Tracy has developed for us to work with. And so that's what we're going to do. I don't have that color in a spray, only in an ink pad, but that's okay. We can do some other stuff with it. These are still slightly damp. So what I want to do is just add a little bit of spray to them. I should probably use my spray box, shouldn't I? I should. So today is Wednesday, the 21st of May. And so I'm filming this to air later. And sadly, I'm unable to share with you quite yet what I'm looking for, or what I'm working with, excuse me, as far as the kit, because it hasn't been released yet to the public. And but I know like what we're working with, so I'm excited about that. So I'm just going to spritz this. This is Rusty Hinge. I don't need a lot. We just want a little bit of interest. And a little bit of fossilized amber. Have I opened this one? I did not. So we have, as I told you guys, my mother-in-law's coming. She's flying in today. And poor thing, she's coming and we're like 10 to 20 degrees below normal on our temperatures. And so it's supposed to be wet and kind of yucky. But we'll make the best of it. I'm sure we'll play games and do stuff like that to pass the time. But outdoor recreation is going to be a little bit challenging when she's here. But it'll be good to get some mom hugs and some mom time. Yeah, so Ooh, the lid came off. Oh, gorgeous. And this is obviously the non-pattern side, which was what I was trying to do something with. Do I have salvage patina and spray? And just add a little. I don't need a lot because I don't know yet exactly how I'm going to use these. This is really soaking in a very interesting way because these papers are damp. I don't think I do. I do not. I was looking to see if I have salvage patina in sprays, and I don't. I just have them like in ink pads. And see, that's soaking in because these papers are already damp, so there's no setting on the top of them. But it's going to be fine, and they're going to dry, and they're going to be fun. And then we are still going to be able to add interest to these at the end of the day. And see, that's even coming through on some of my moths and spiders, and that's okay. I don't mind that. I could get it wetter if I want it to run, so maybe we'll try that on one of the other pieces. And this is just a little bit of how to add some interest to your bits. Now I do have some smaller offcuts because I do intend to use these for maybe smaller pockets or even belly bands or even tags, but we want to have options for them. And yeah. Oh, now see, that's running gorgeous. It's kind of bright, but it's okay because it's not going to dry that bright. Not at all. Ooh, lots of orange or yellow. That's gonna make some green, which is fine. Just a way to play. So I'm going to do these, let them dry, and then I will completely clean them off after they're dry and get all those dried coffee bits off of there. And I probably will end up getting some residual like cabbage dye off of my tablecloth. I really want to add some purple. I didn't get any purple out. What do we have? Wilted violet. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Luminous twilight. Another one. So this is a mica spray. So we'll do this on top of any other color that we decide to use. And I thought, oh, what stencils could I spray through? But I'm going to leave the stencils for later, I think. Because again, I don't want to give anything away as far as the kit, but it's Creep on June. You guys know it's going to be a fantastic play. Ugh. Okay, maybe some iced spruce. Spritz that with some water and maybe a little bit of orange. And then let's see what this does. And it's all in the name of playing. So I was kind of stressing about this make, and I was talking to my friend last night, and she was like, Jody, just do you and have fun. And so that's the plan. Ooh, I like that, how that's running. It's kind of like a big blob. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. And you just play with your things until you're happy with them, you know? It's just not all about perfection. Some of these are really giving me big blobs when I'm spraying them. And the other day I was telling you guys in a video, like if you haven't watched Tim Holt's Asked and Answered on the sprays, I suggest you do it. It is a wealth of information and really just so informative and helpful, and helps you understand like how they work and the properties of the stains, the oxides, the micas, the spritzes. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more about them. So I'm going to continue with that, do the rest of my tray, and just add some color to those. And we may end up gessoing or covering them later, but it gives me options for now. Ooh, I need scorched timber out too. Okay, so they're drying still. I did heat them with the heat tool, and I really, really like them. This square one right there is a little bit bright, but the rest of them got really grungy. Like this one looks like it's going to be super awesome. And these smaller pieces I think are going to be so cool, whether I use them as like flip outs or what, I don't know yet. And that Mermaid Lagoon is a really bright blue, but I think it really adds a pop of color. So I'm going to let these completely dry. After they completely dry, I'll still add some interest to them, some stamping and stenciling and something, and I maybe even add some gesso or texture paste to those. I'm really not sure. I love that top one. It really is grungy. It is awesome. But that was the top one, so it's darker. So it sat with air all night and is a lot darker than the rest of them as far as the coffee stains themselves. So that is that. So those are going to continue to dry. I am going to go wash my hands, and then we are going to work on some more pages of our some more pages, just base pages, because again, I can't show you any of the digital kit in this video. So I have dug through my stash and found lots of wonderful grungy bits. So I don't know if you guys remember, this was 3 summers ago, I think, when I was dyeing papers for the mermaid journal, and I just was having so much fun. I was like, had rusty bits on these papers and so much fun stuff I was dealing with as far as dyeing things, and I got some wonderful grungy bits. Some of this I think would make really great collage fodder, some really great pockets. I've got some guest checks we can alter here. The backs of them are delightful. And just some bits. So it's kind of just collecting. I've got these little envelopes that would be great little pockets to put tags in, or like put 2 on a page, like side tucks would be kind of cool. I have some tiny tags, and I've got to look. I'm not sure how I want to do these, but we'll see. I mean, it's just options. I wanted to just pull out some grungy bits. I had pulled out, look at that. Isn't that delicious? Oh my gosh. And I say delicious because it makes me so happy. And I am going to attempt to embrace grunge and texture and things like that in this. And like, look, this page is so fragile and it's already breaking. It's a German dictionary page. And I'm like, cool, it's already broken. I don't have to be sad about tearing a page apart. This library card pocket, a couple of CD envelope pockets are in here. So you can see the dye on the plastic, and that should come off when we wipe it. Let's test that theory. And the ink's been on there for a really long time because, again, I did this 2022 maybe. I dyed these papers, and I haven't really used them. So, yeah. Oh, love that. I love it. So now the window is clean, and what we could do is gently take this apart and put a backing in here, even though that's a really pretty image, but this white sides, my brain doesn't like that. No. I have a couple of bags here. This is like a utensil bag from a restaurant. So that makes, it could be put in just as a small pocket, as a flip. Those are so much fun. Now, these glassine bags are really interesting because when I dyed them, they stuck together. So what I was thinking is I could just stitch all the way around this, cut this edge off so it's not a pocket, and then it's just an interesting piece on a page or something. So I don't know, because most of them stuck. Like, that's as far as I can get that open, and I don't want to wreck it by forcing it open. This one It's a different style of bag, and it opens, and look how glorious that is. These are the, I'm going to guess that this is like walnut stain, uncharted mariner. Can't remember what all colors I used in this. I sprayed these with vinegar. I had rusty bits from Mark's stuff that I was using. So just some like you can see there's an image of a nail there, like so cool. So these are just going to be wonderful bits. Index pages. You guys have seen me use these, but not these grunged up ones. Kind of pulling out some of my hoardy stuff because there's a nail there. Yeah. We have to stop hoarding the things. And if I use these, then I have an excuse to do it again. A washer, a nail. And these are like cut nails that we pulled out of this house. So these are like 1800s nails I was using on these pages. So the insides didn't get much, but that is okay because if we're using it for collage fodder or to make pockets, we either won't see the whites of that or we just have to ink it. And look at this. Oh, but I'm after these hands, or what I was after on this one. This one's got some mica and it's kind of got some different colors, but I really like it for a little bit of different interest. And this one, again, with the rusty nails, you can actually see the rust from the washers and the nails on these. And these are really lightweight bits. So these I pulled out to do something with. On these, I can't tell you why I pulled them, but I am assuming you can guess based on the color and the design. All right, so that's that. Okay, so what was I thinking, you ask me, with these? These are lightweight pages. They're 20-pound paper. These are long before I learned about paperweights and with those dies that I swear never dry. Well, these are dry because they're super old. But we have our scrap bin, and I don't know, I really like that one. I like that one a lot, just as it is. Can I make one of those pockets with that? Let's see what we can do with it. Let's just ponder the situation. And yeah, I'm just playing, obviously, because I'm avoiding what I'm supposed to be doing. So what is that? Like 1.25 inches, and then that's 1.25 inches. So that's good. Okay. And then doesn't matter which side because they're pretty much the same. And yes, I just did this pocket in Mini May, but because this paper is pretty on both sides, I want to just leave it as is. And I'm not going to glue it or anything right now because I may need to stabilize the back sides of that. But look how pretty that is. And then that measures 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5/8 ish. So that's a good size pocket. So we have that. Oh, I like that. What about this one? Yeah, we're going to do the same. We can have 2 of these pockets, right? Is that too many of these pockets? Possibly. But it gets them out of my stash because honestly, I'm so tired of having some of this stuff. Like these I've had in my stash for 5 years probably. So it's time to use the things, give them a purpose, get them out of the stash, and then gives us a reason to play with new things. And I've learned a lot since I had done these, so why not? 2 of those is plenty. I don't need more than 2 of these for sure. Is that straight? No, that needs to come in more. Okay. Yes, love it. And I'll get that inked up. So now we have 2 pockets ready to go. And then we have this one, which on the back side of this, I am going to pull my scrap bin down. And we're going to just glue some scraps to the back of this. It's going to stabilize that, and then we can use it for some tag bases. So all I'm going to do is get my glue book, my glue stick, tear some scraps, and put them on here. The dangers of cleaning up the other day. I put my glue sticks in a different container and then I couldn't find them. Like, what did I do with them? So some of these have ink on them, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care. I don't want all this white on these, so I am going to take those off. I am not worried about size. I am not worried about, what's the word? Direction of the text or the font. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to put this down and fill up the back of this. And I just said I don't want all of that white, so I will just let that hang off the edge there. Hopefully I don't have any bad words. I'm not even checking for that. Honestly, I just want to get these glued down so that I can have these to work with for like tag bases or pockets or whatever the case may be. Trying not to worry about perfection, because if I start doing that, I am never going to get done. That has a ton of glue on the back side. Stop fussing. It's fine. It's fine, she says. Just glue it down. And please don't mind me. I feel like I'm super out of sorts today. I have a lot going on in my brain. We have a lot going on in life right now. You guys know my mother-in-law's coming in. We have to go get her from the airport after a while, which I'm excited about. But just some other things going on. And it's taking up brain space. So this collaging is good because it will help me. I hope. So, are you guys excited for Creep on June? I don't even think I've asked that question. Like, I am. I'm nervous. I'm super nervous. Like, I was like, stop saying like, Jody. I was talking to my friend last night and I said, oh, I'm so nervous. And maybe it's because I'm on the design team this year where, you know, Creep on June is what got me on the design team last year. And so I feel like a lot of pressure. I almost feel like I'm brand new to the design team, and I'm not. And I absolutely love being a part of it. It is such a gift and a blessing. And Tracy is so generous. If you're, you know, just in her community overall, she's just a very generous person. And I really appreciate all that she gives. So, yeah, just a little shout out to her there. Need another glue stick. So I'm going to try to just get these down without overthinking, get the entire back covered. And I'm trying to decide if I just want to go ahead and put a layer of gesso over it as it's drying, because that'll knock a lot of this back. And some of this has, you know, the types of inks that are going to activate by getting the gesso put on it, and that's okay with me. I'm not worried about that. So I will just continue, and when I come back, I'll show you what we've got going on. I said I wasn't going to fuss with that, and then I found myself fussing with it. So I had to make myself stop and then regroup so that I could just continue to move forward with getting the whole back covered. So then when this dries, it will be more substantial. It's still really soft right now, and I have some trim up to do, but this will be good. It'll give me some bases we can cut down for some tags and have them already backed, because you could write on this with, you know, colored pens or markers or whatever you wanted to do with it. And I don't know yet what we'll do with it, but I do think I want to gesso this side and just kind of knock that back a little bit. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that, because then while I have lunch, it can just dry. So all I'm going to do is just a little bit, and then get my small brayer wherever it is. Hey. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little over here on the glass mat, work my brayer into it, and just brayer a little bit of gesso on here. then what will happen is if I decide that I want to ink on this, it's going to really give me different results because I have different eras of paper. Some are a lot more porous than others, with the different textures and stuff. I feel like that's not getting on here very well, but that's okay. I will mush something onto that and clean up the rest of it because I just really don't want a heavy coating of gesso on it. But again, it just more interest to this. Ooh, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? I just told Mark I got to go down and make lunch, and I said I have to do this so it can dry, and he's like, okay, but he's super hungry. So I can't have a hungry hubby waiting on me. I wonder if part of my problem is that is on the glass mat, so the brayer is struggling on there. Let's try this and see what happens. Don't want to get gesso all over this foam, but sometimes things get sacrificed in the craft room. Yeah. And I feel like that's not really picking up that gesso off the glass mat very well either. Pick it up, man. Pick it up. But you can see it's just pushing that in the background. And if I have little pieces here that are lifting, I will get those later. I'm not too concerned about that. I was contemplating a napkin, if I have like a good black and white napkin with the design. I have a napkin that's black and white, but it's got a specific purpose because of the design on it. But I'm wondering, do I have something else I could use? I think I'm happy with that. Let's do one more and then I'll clean this up so it'll be good and dry then after lunch. And I don't know what time we're leaving, so. I'm telling you guys, I think my brain is just in messy mode. I want to get messy. All right, perfect. Yep, I like it. Yep. I'll clean this up later. Okay, so that's going to sit and dry. So it'll be, I don't know, half hour or so before I come back up. We're not having a big lunch, so it shouldn't take too long. And then this should be good and dry for us for when it is time to do something with it. Okay, so what we have here is I have an offcut of a pocket. I made a piece yesterday because Tracy wanted like some teaser pieces, and I keep trying to think of where I set it. Oh, I know where it is. I can't show it to you right now. Yeah, I can. Just kidding. Let me find where I stuck it in here. I have it clipped in my signature, so I just need to find it and pull it out to show you. Okay. So I have this, and like I had a misprint on the back, and anyway, so I thought, I'll just cut that off and make a pocket out of that. So that's here ready to go. But this is a piece I made using, this was one of the pages in the Foxy rag, and Tracy had some text down here. So I just covered that up and used another page out of the rag for my background there. So anyway, that's what that is. So this was the other piece of it. I was going to have it, and what I was going to do with it, it doesn't matter. It wasn't working. So it doesn't really matter what I plan to do with it. Okay, so you can see I have lots of color on here. I have done my fossilized amber, my rusty hinge, my aged mahogany, all in the background here. And I'm really liking these blue splatters in the background. So I think I do want to maybe add a little bit more of those, although the pieces that end up having that blue splatter are going to be pretty cool. And that blue splatter is under the gesso. Sorry, I don't need to whack my ring on the glass mat. That's probably loud. It's spinning today. I'm freezing, so my Mother Nature needs to get with the program. We've been 80 a couple of days, and it's just cold and rainy today. But anyway, so what I was thinking is I have my ground espresso here. And I just want to add a little bit of brown to this. I don't want to do a lot of brown. So I was wondering, do I just gently rub my ink pad over the top of this? But I don't want to totally take away from the background of it. So that's my dilemma. Or I could, rather than getting it wet, let's just do this. Done this before. And on this, so on the red, I went at an angle. And so I'm just going to maybe not get any kind of result doing this. Oh, there we go. Okay. And of course, the outer edges are giving me the stripes because the center of my ink pad is like concave. Oh, wrong way. That's okay. Concave. And here's what I'm finding is that all of the raised bits are taking all of the color, each of the colors. So I'm losing like all my different colors by continuing to go over it. So I'm going to stop there with the ground espresso. Just do a little clean off. I also think maybe I would have gotten a little bit of a better squishy downy with that being like on a foam pad, but I really like it. And I think in the end, it's going to give some really good interest as far as being cut into tags or journaling cards or whatever. So I can put the inks away. We still need more. I was thinking a little bit of black splatter, but then I'm like, do I wait until I know how I'm going to use these? But if I just go ahead and do it now, then I will have some pieces with continuity to use throughout the project. So back to, I think I am going to do a little bit of splatter, but not a lot. And yeah, just a little. I'm not going to spray. I just want to do a little bit of, yeah. Get it everywhere probably. It's all right. Okay, I'm not going to get that wet because if I get that wet, then what's going to happen is it's going to activate all those oxides in the background again. But what if we, oh yeah, now those I could have gotten wet because that would have been pretty. That's all right. What if I just missed it? Still going to activate everything, but who cares? I want that blue to run a little bit. Oh yeah, good call, Jody. It's really just about playing, which clearly I've been doing all day and it's not accomplishing much. I need to fill my sprayer up. Okay, that's good. That's going to give us some nuance and colors. And then as I dry this, I can move some of that around. I need to fill my sprayer up. It's getting empty, so it's not doing what I wanted to do. All right, so I'll dry it and then we'll cut it up, and then that's going to be it for this video. We're just working on some bases and preparation for our project, and so hopefully you'll get some inspiration with playing with things. Maybe dig in your stash and find something you made like a long time ago that has just been sitting here taking up precious space, and go from there. Yep, let's dry it. I'll say it really makes me happy when I'm dealing with wet, and you have, okay, so back up. When you are dealing with like just using glue stick and you get it wet like I just did, you definitely want to check your edges and come back in and re-glue. This was a super thin dictionary page, and so I'm not surprised it's popping up. I'm also not surprised it's popping up because the glue stick does tend to lift when I get it wet. I'm not worried about that for the end result, but for right now, I just catch the loose ends and glue them down. Anyway, I love when I have wet medium and I'm taking the air to it and drying it, because what happens, hopefully you can see here, I push that like back and forth and it starts to get like dried out and starts to get a little bit more concentrated in color, and then it gives like such good interest. I absolutely love doing that. So at this point, there are things we could do. We could, I have to dry the back of this too. I didn't do that. We could start like going around where I have like edges and lips for these papers. Now these were thinner papers on purpose. If you're using a thicker paper, that would be easier. You could take like your Stabilo All or a watercolor pencil or even your acrylic marker and just go around these edges, or your black, just a black pen. If you're going to use any of those, any kind of fine liner or marker or pen, please make sure your page is completely dry. Otherwise, you will wreck the nib on your markers. And you can go ahead and ask me how I know. I have ruined a couple of pens like that. But I really like this color. I think I want to add a little bit of dark to it, definitely, but I'm not going to do that at this stage. I am going to cut this down and then weight these under a heavy book, so that way when we're ready to come back and use them, they'll be flatter because of all the water and moisture and the glue and everything. It's gotten all like delicious and the texture has changed and it's awesome. This side is super bright, this side's darker, so this side got, you know, more of the rusty hinge, where this side got more of the ground espresso. I'm happy that I decided to go ahead and wet those blue splotches because I love them so much. And then also I could have gotten ink wet on the mat with my fan brush and got different splotches, or just with any kind of wet brush and splotched it on there. And I may still do that. And maybe I'll do that with the black ink. I don't know what I want to do yet. But at this point, I think I'm just going to, like I said, cut them and then weight them under a book. So this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So this side is just coffee dyed paper. Let's hit that really quickly and dry it. Okay. And I'm going for grunge, but you can do this with all of your neon colors. You can do this with watercolors. You can do this with acrylic paints. You can do this with your watercolor pencils. You know, any water-based medium, you're going to be able to do this and activate it with water and get it to move. So it's not, if you're like, oh, I don't have those inks, I can't do it. Sure you can. What do you have that was going to react with water, right? So this is an 8.5 by 11. So what I think I want to do is, if I cut this at 6 this way, excuse me, and also when you get your paper wet, it distorts it. So like this has been really wet when I sprayed this, and now I've gotten it all wet again. So like even when you coffee dye paper, your paper may not be a true 8.5 by 11 when you're done. Odds are it's going to be a different size because it's gotten water and it makes it, I don't want to say misshapen. I don't know exactly that it shrinks. I don't know what the phenomena is when you get it wet exactly. I don't know. I haven't really practiced the science of it, but this one is actually like 10 7/8 now by just under 8.5. So it shrank a little bit by getting wet. I think when you put the water in it and then it dries, the particles like constrict or something in it. I don't know. That's too scientific for my brain right now. So we're just going to say it's all good. Okay, so we have on here, what do we want to do? So I think I want to go 6 1/4, which looks like it's going to be roughly here. Roughly. We're going to eyeball it and call it good. And then I don't want to see what we're going to end up with. So stop looking. 6 1/4 by, if I do that, yeah, 3 1/4. I don't know. We might end up trimming these down some more when we're done. And 3 1/4 again. Whoa. So that gives us a little thin strip, which could be a belly band, or we make some smaller tags out of it. So I did 6 1/4-ish. So let's go 3 1/8-ish. And then we've got a couple little tags. And then this piece, I really like this. We could do some pockets out of this. What is this measure that's left? Like 4 5/8-ish, almost 4 3/4. So if we do this one by like 3 1/4, and then, oh my gosh, so funny. I have this tablecloth on the floor behind me. Is that? What are you doing? And I keep thinking that I'm seeing Chloe out of the corner of my eye, and I'm not. It's the tablecloth. What did I say that is? Oh my gosh, mush for brains. Let's just go about like there. Split the difference-ish. Okay, let's see what we ended up with. Okay, and then we have these really great backgrounds also. Okay, so for our big ones, that's what we have, which I think is going to be super great. So it gives you, like, if we were going to do the map on there, you know, just for reference and size. So those I think will be really nice pieces to work with. Oh, yeah. And then we have these that could be pockets or journaling cards. These could be tucks or tags or journaling cards. We could even cut this down more. We could fold that in half and make like a paper clip with it. So all kinds of things we can do. So that's really fun. I guess in essence, it's like making a master board, which I seldom do. And, you know, I could have, you know, decoupage napkins over this or stamped tissue paper. Ooh, stamping. We could stamp on it. Yeah, we could add more interest by stamping. Should we do it? I think we should do it. And then we'll call this video done. Now I'm just playing and I got to get ready to go and get some stamps out. Okay, so what I have are just a variety of stamps. I just want to get some interest in the backgrounds of these, and I am not going to be fussy. I'm not worrying about perfect images. I just want interest on these. And like if the images overlap, like let's just say this. Oop, that's good. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see them all. And my images are going to be imperfect because the nature of my layers are imperfect, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So let's see, we did the moth. Let's do a couple of bugs. I mean, it's creepy, right? We're doing creep on June. Hi, we got to have some creepy crawlers. Maybe not a lot of creepy crawlers because they're not my favorite thing. But if we just put a few in the background, and we may not even end up seeing them by the time we embellish and decorate or cover or whatever we're going to do with these, right? So stop saying right. It's just adding more to your background, more. And sometimes less is more, and that is fine. We don't always have to have like a million things on our bits, but it really does lend itself to having, you know, just added to it. And like I'm putting script on top of text. Does that make sense? I don't know. Do I like it? Yeah. Does it add something to my pages? Yes. Do I care about stamping over where I have already stamped? No. You just have to do like what speaks to you. I'm using archival ink because I don't know what the next steps or the next layers are going to be. Like, what if I want to come in with a bunch of more water or do something else? I don't want my stamps to be like moving around and stuff, you know? So I'm just going to continue to do this, and then I'll come back and see what we have in the end and go from there. Okay, so I think that's good for right now. I love having such a variety of things to work with, and there's so much more we can add, but I think I'll add more once I know like how I'm going to utilize these pieces and in what context, because I don't know what ephemera I might put on here, and you know, they may end up totally different by the time we're done with them. We may not even see them, but now I can pick it up and have something to work with. Like, I love it. I really, this is like one of my favorite pieces right here with this green. So this may end up being a pocket or a tuck spot because I love this so much. I'll probably be like, I don't even want to cover that. But you don't ever know till we start actually getting into the project. So hopefully you're inspired to just get some things out and play. Look at what's in your stash. If the white space is something you don't like, give you some ideas for ways that you can cover it, give it interest, do something with it. It's not a new concept, but maybe it's a good reminder. Because like I haven't dealt with, I haven't dyed actual scrapbook paper or cardstock in a really long time with a single-sided design with the white on it. I usually like either stencil it or stamp on it. So being brave and just throwing the whole thing in the coffee dye, I haven't done that in years. So just kind of a reminder to myself too that these are things we can do. It's just paper. All right, so thank you for joining me. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know. Are you excited about Creep on June? Or are you like, I don't even know what that is? Like, what do you think? Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.